Starting lineup here: Eloy, Wukong, Diana, Ash, Poppy. For the rest of the review, I will be calling Eloy. Up against Darius, Warwick, Yone, Caitlyn, and Zerath. Rating of the picks for a casual game: Eloy, 10 out of 10. Um, exactly what you need. Super tanky, leader, can trade. Um, he has a predictable, very predictable play style that doesn't work in professional games. But for casuals who can't predict it, it's up there. I would say, I'm not gonna give a top three because you know what? My artificial top three would be one Cho'Gath, two Mundo, and three of all time top for casual. Three would be Aatrox or Eloy. So that's who Eloy is. Diana is a mid. Diana is the complete reverse of Eloy. Diana is my personal least favorite champion. So you're not going to have a great time on this channel if you're a Diana fan. I personally feel more screwed over by Diana than by anybody else ever in any League of Legends game of any kind of character. Diana has a unique talent for screwing over my games. She seems extremely squishy, and quite frankly, like, there is an argument to be made that there's something that you can derive from some basic kind of look. For example, like if I looked extremely young, you might say that, well, who's gonna trust him? Because he's extremely young, what would he know? Right? In the same way, like if you go with Diana, to that extent, exterior can tell you something about a person at least. If you go with Diana, like just look at this creature, look at it. It looks like some kind of bloated in the face, deranged feminist who just handed her man divorce papers. That's what Diana looks like. That's your ultimate fantasy that you want to play? There's something wrong with you. Like, there's just something wrong with you. Like, why do you, what kind of a thing is that to like? Who likes that? She looks like some kind of, yeah, mega depressed goth woman or some, like, it's just not a natural thing to be into. It tells me something about your personality that that is the first thing that you're into. Ash is a 6 and is typically played wrong. Then Poppy, we have here one from 1981. I see. That's interesting given the behavior. 1981. Um, we have here Poppy. I would give Poppy as a support for a casual game a 10 out of 10. Um, Darius as a top. We're going to give Darius about the same score as Garen. An 8. An 8. Solid. Good. Reliable. Um, Limited in some ways, though. Limited in some ways. Cannot quite grow like Aatrox can grow. Kind of like a weak version of Aatrox. Um, Warwick in the jungle for casual, an 8. Yone in the mid. For a pro game, I would say 10 out of 10. For a casual game, we'll give it a 7. I think especially the thing with the soul displacement or the leaving your body, how many casuals know how to use that? Caitlyn, that's a 10 out of 10. Zerath as a support, that's a 5 because Zerath is a shooter and not a support and cannot support you in any way. That's a handicap. Placing a handicap on Caitlyn here. Um, let's get to it. For the first play of the game, we're gonna have this slow, dragging, whittling, lasting gang up here on Eloy. And you can tell already at level 7 that they're afraid of him. And they're just taking forever to get to him, signaling back and forth. There's a lot of awkward behavior here. And ultimately, Eloy will make use of the turret. I will give him a hand here. Both of them will die. That's getting a little bit too forward there with the turret. For the second play of the game, I'm gonna come up top here after this unsuccessful ambush. I'm gonna grab myself a little Warwick snack. Something that Wukong really excels at is snatching stuff up that is about to die. That's the second play. Don't let him get away. Here for the third play of the game, Caitlyn is gonna show off why she is the best shooter for casual games. The beautiful trap setting. It's unreal. Help the guy out. Beautiful. And she's helping him out even though he's really sabotaging her by going with a shooter. That's the third play. And for the fourth play of the game, we are going to dominate the mid lane here. And the enemy top is going to get a ping crisis. And the enemy support is going to point out that Caitlyn is doing it wrong. While he himself picked a shooter for a support. And is also just continuously running away. And the enemy support is easily the worst player on their team all around, despite the record that Darius has. Because he basically just ran away and then blamed everybody else. And for the fifth play of the game, 4 of the red team is going to come down here. Yone is going to cut off the exit for the shooter. Warwick is going to end up cutting off the exit for the mid. This is in no way a sensible way to retreat. This is not a realistic plan in any way what they're doing here. And quite inexplicably, especially given the fact that it involves a Frenchman, he's just going to leave me to die, which what makes it even stranger is I cannot imagine that he could not have beaten Zerath and Darius at this point, so I really don't know what that was for. But that's the fifth play of the game. They're going to finally get the dragon, and with that, basically crush the remaining hope on our team from a moral standpoint. I am at this point still struggling to fully understand it myself, so yeah. You'll have to watch the whole thing to get to some kind of clearer understanding of it. That's the fifth play. Taking a look at the scoreboard here. You went Spirit Visage a bit too early on Eloy. That's not a rational choice. Going hyper squishy on Diana. Having all that power to kill, I see. Um, yeah, and we knew. I knew just from the flow of the game. I could tell. Another one. Here we go again. What do I always say about Ashe? Ashe is more of a utility shooter. Ashe, you want to capitalize on the freeze and the slow. Her second spell gives you slow, her ultimate gives you a freeze. She's more of an assisting shooter. If you go into her, like basically, people fantasize about this version of Ashe that has like an AK 47, right? And it's super hot because she's a hot lady, right? And she's just standing there and she's just gunning everybody down, out DPSing everybody. And you know what happens next? You fall dead on the ground. You know why that is? Because one, she can't out DPS people quite like that, and two, she has a tiny, tiny, tiny life pool. That's why that doesn't work. People want to play tough guy with Ashe always. You should play Ashe as a utility champion. Think of it like Caitlyn, but with like utility instead of deadly kill power. Are you into that? Ashe is the one for you. I once met a guy, like many others, who yell about how they're medical students in League of Legends. He played Ashe beautifully. Beautifully. I was playing my main Vi in the mid, or I was coming over the mid, trying to get the enemy mid down. He used this ultimate from the bottom lane all the way. He came all the way over with his ultimate and shot me in the middle of the mid lane, and I got destroyed. You free somebody from half a screen away, from half the map away. That's how Ashe is played. Okay, that is the best way to use Ashe, not to step in and go like, oh yeah, yippee-ki-yay. That's not Ashe. You need to play, if you want that kind of stuff, you need to play Aatrox. If you want heavy, wild exchanges, you need to play Yasuo, not fucking Ashe. Um, Poppy seems to play with very few items here. Don't know why. It's good that you went with things that look like they make him a little bit more tanky. That's a good baseline ID. I'm not going to knock that. But you went with a bunch of magic resistance and you were fighting somebody specializing in attack damage and whittling you down. You should not go Infinity Edge this early. Yeah, this is not good. No, this is not good. This is not how you build Yone. Yone and Yasuo are set, fixated champions that have no room for change. You can't build Yone like a tank. You can't build Yone like some kind of crit monster. Everything Yone does scales on attack speed. That is his, along with Wukong, partially. Wukong less so, but especially Yasuo, Yone, and to a lesser extent Wukong, their abilities, their cooldown of their abilities scales with their attack speed, And so you have not the option to go like into crit and shit. If you see people doing that, that is objectively wrong. Nothing can be more important than manipulating this extra advantage where all of attack speed also gives you all of ability cooldown. Under those circumstances, you could constantly spam every ability. Okay, that would be way more advantageous than adding in a little bit of crit. Yeah, and I think you can see here in the deaths that Caitlyn suffered from the fact that she was playing with a non-support. Let's get to the game.
Every mistake is a lesson. Bring me a real challenge. My place is at the top. Put me to the test. Never settle for second. Adapt to all situations.
Yeah, and it's a very unfortunate thing, of course, that comes out as well in young men in the nature of course, playing Warwick. Because, like, essentially the game gives them a natural easy power and easy mode power. And, like, it just showcases the first thing they always do with it is immediately they start bullying with it. I mean, obviously the game is about not choosing the high ground. The game is about not choosing the high ground, but it is utterly pathetic, like how you can tell that people systematically when it comes to Warwick, they start abusing it clearly way more than average.
Who questions my ability? Every mistake is a lesson.
An ally has been slain.
What's wrong, Buttercup?
Show me the path.
Are you having beautiful feelings? You want to talk about your feelings for 6 minutes in? Are you mad at me, sweetheart? Because I'm mad at you. Don't worry. I'm the one here who should be getting mad. Buttercup, not you. No, I mean, what does that mean? Like, there's, it's all about grabbing the victory. It's all about showing the other guy up. But we know, like, if you have to play 1,000 games, like, there's a certain basic, like, courtesy. Like, for example, the way that shooters frequently help the jungler all the way in the beginning, right? There's a certain, and in that same exact manner, in that same exact manner, in that same exact way, it is just like a common practice as junglers to start slow. This is an unwritten rule if you've played enough games.
An enemy has been slain.
This is an unwritten rule if you've played enough games.
Ally has been slain.
Yeah, typical Ashe. Always the same with Ashe. Just like Jinx. And you know why? It's because people think that she's some kind of heavy spellcaster. Some kind of heavy archer type.
Shut down. An ally has been slain. You have slain an enemy.
You can tell by the items they get, right? They go like, oh, let me get this kind of Kraken, and let me start blasting, and oh, DPS, DPS, DPS.
An ally has been slain. You have slain an enemy.
Oh no. Oh no. Are the Tearsy Weirsies coming? Darius, and you get tough with me, you can get tough. And that's fair. And that's fair. And you're being fair in that. Okay? You could legitimately play Darius in a tough way.
Enemy has been slain.
If you play RE and you get tough with me, you could get tough with me. That's fair. Okay, everybody knows that Warwick, like, ramps like crazy all the way in the beginning. Okay, it's fucking cheap. It's cheap. You're bullying me around with borrowed power. Okay? And that's fucking cheap. That's what I mean.
My journey's only
Because, if you play 1,000 games as a jungler, like, the greatest player that I've ever played with was Frey. He was a German jungler, and he basically taught me the basics.
I got this.
And he would always start very, very slow, and it's common courtesy, okay, as a jungler. Because if you have to steal the enemy's jungle right from the start, you're gonna get exhausted after 2 games. Mentally exhausted. So you just don't do that.
Ally has been slain.
You got it.
An ally has been slain.
No, of course.
Bring me a real challenge. never settle for second.
And he knows that, everybody knows that. He made a new account, you can tell by his name, he called himself Jungle Gypsy. We all know that, everybody knows that. Everybody who's in the jungle knows you don't do that, really. You don't, like, go hyper-aggressive into the other guy's jungle. You could, theoretically, if you had to, like, to win a very serious game, but if you do that all of the time, then you're going to get completely worn out after, like, 2 games played.
All situations. My place is at the top.
That was cutesy wootsies! What a tough boy. Excellent job by Diana as always. You get to take credit for it. Good job. Good job, girl.
An ally has been slain. Shut down.
Wuju style. Who questions my ability? You got it.
Thank goodness we have Eloy. Okay. French boy doing French things. Thank goodness. Now, we're gonna have this clown coming in here, and of course.
Adapt to all situations. My place is at the top.
An ally has been slain. An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
Be a real challenge.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Questions my ability.
Your turret has been destroyed. An ally has been slain.
Been waiting for this.
Dominating.
Such a waste.
I got this.
Your team has destroyed a turret. Legendary. An ally has been slain.
Show me the path. Is that all they've got? My journey's only beginning. Every mistake is a lesson.
Legendary. An ally has been slain. Double kill. An enemy has been slain. Triple kill. An ally has been slain.
No, when the towers are down, you don't go to the ground. I mean, when the enemy is there. We've gotten into that yesterday.
Bring me a real challenge. My place is at the top. You got it. Who questions my ability?
Enemy killing spree.
Show me the path.
An ally has been slain.
Adapt to all situations.
Your turret has been destroyed.
Been waiting for this.
Shut down.
Just like a general, like, the people who play League of Legends outside of myself, I started 3 months ago. The people who play League of Legends take it from an outsider. They should check in with a mental hospital.
Never settle for second.
Look at the damage we've done to them. We're gonna give up? Are you deranged? What motivates you to give up? What are you looking for? What is the better chance that you're going to get? We have Aloy. We have Poppy. Like, what are you looking for?
An enemy has been slain.
Bring me a real challenge.
This Diana is out of her gourd. Like, she's just, like, literally, like, all over the place emotionally. Just wanting to give up just for the sake of giving up, okay?
I got this.
An enemy has been slain. Down.
Hey guys, I know that we're winning, but we're gonna give up. Because Diana doesn't feel quite right. Oh man, this next generation of humans is gonna get crushed in the real world. Is gonna... I pushed E. What the hell? This next generation of humans is gonna get crushed in the real world. Hey, you have so little control of your emotions and of your feelings that you're just gonna give up for the sake of giving up.
Who questions my ability?
The range. You deserve to lose, that's for sure.
My journey's only beginning. Is that all they've got?
I'm left with no conclusion but to think that the reason you want to give up is just because I'm doing better than you. Like, we're gonna get to a point in society where people will just no longer accept games when somebody's doing better than them. That's literally, you literally want to make this game go kaboom. You want to basically hand in and just basically go 0-1 here. You want to take this loss just because somebody else is doing better than you.
An ally has been slain.
I mean, you certainly deserve to lose. It doesn't matter to me. What I will say is I'm making mistakes here following this gang. I should make my own path here. Because I can't deal with people like that.
An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain. Legendary.
Every mistake is a lesson. Bring me a real challenge.
Your team has destroyed a turret. An ally has been slain. An ally has been slain.
You got it.
The enemy's inhibitor is respawning soon. enemy's inhibitor has respawned.
Who questions my ability? My journey's only beginning. Just try to stop me. Never settle for second.
An ally has been slain. An ally has been slain.
Adapt to all situations. You are drowning.
I want you to scream. We have a journey. You have slain an enemy. A summoner has disconnected.
Don't really know why that was necessary. You could have taken them. You could have taken Darius. I don't know why you did that. Just to fuck me over? Don't really know. Man, Again, like, I started playing 3 months ago. The average person who plays League, log off, go to a mental hospital. You need help. You need help. You need help. You want to lose winning games. Your cause of being, like, I can say, Poppy here, just appears to just have decided to stop.
Mistake is a lesson.
This Ash, been a losing player, been completely without will, without any kind of resistance the entire time.
Bring me a real challenge.
Enemy ram.
Yeah, and then obviously the cherry on top is this Diana here. Just a complete nut job.
Your inhibitor has been destroyed.
My place is at
And I'm starting to think that you're literally just basing the entire thing off of like, hey, you have this skin, so I'm jealous. You have this record, so I'm jealous. We had one player, and it was Eloy. It was really a selfish bastard. Unbelievable game. Absolutely unbelievable.